So I received a question in my inbox. Hey, I asked you a question about that girl's video. I was just curious how you made the white supremacy conclusion. To me, white people forced their religion on their slaves. So why is an atheist considered by you a white supremacist? What did I miss? The reason I got this question in my inbox was because I commented on a friend's video, Francina Simone. If y'all not following her, y'all need to follow her because she's amazing. Her content is so good. And anyway, I commented on her video, and this is the video actually I'm going to show you. It's a stitch. She stitched someone else, another very smart person too. Here we go. Here it is.
Why I'm an atheist over an agnostic. One of the things that was most...
I do think it's wild that you went to school for theology and came away with atheism because, follow me, it's a bit cultural appropriate.
Cena goes on to make a lot of really great points. And she said that the logic that the person that she stitched had when coming to her conclusion about becoming atheist is a kind of logic that stems from white supremacy. And my comment on Francina's video was this: the way I screamed white supremacy at the same time that you said it. Francina did a long video where she kind of explained all of it. But like, first of all, I do want to say that nobody's like saying that this woman is walking around with a Ku Klux Klan hood and lynching people or anything like that. As I mentioned yesterday in like 3 videos that I did talking about this, we are all opted into a system of racism and white supremacy. Being opted into a system means that you're just going to perpetuate the system by the way that you just live your life. The way you think, the conclusions you come to, how you do things, you are opted into a system. So in order for you to continue to be in flow with the system, you're going to be perpetuating the system. So, and Francina, correct me if I'm wrong on this, but like atheism itself is not what is being critiqued. It is the logic that led this woman to atheism after going to theology school. Now, let's get into the logic. So the person that Francina stitched, they go by no nonsense spirituality. They said that they can tell what kind of God a society is going to create on the basis of what kind of society they live in. For example, they said that if a society depends on trade, then they're going to invent polytheistic, tolerant gods. A society that has a hierarchy in place and at the top is an authoritarian leader, their God is going to be an authoritarian dictator. They mentioned that a society that's a hunter-gatherer society, they're going to have animistic gods, animism, gods that are animals in nature and that kind of thing. Now, before I go any further, I need to tell you what my bias is and why I jumped in and I was like, white supremacy. The foundation of my personal ideology is that nearly every major problem that we have on the planet, probably even every minor problem, can come down to the fact that the vessel mistakes itself for the creator. The tool mistakes itself for the creator. The aspect of all of ourselves and just in general, anything that is a tool is being elevated amongst the user of the tool or the creator who is using the tool as a vessel. Francina kind of touches on this a little bit in the video. I'm going to show you a clip.
And you are but a speaker of that message. How could you be the creator of the message? That's cultural appropriation, like you're culturally appropriating God.
In the video, No Nonsense Spirituality talks about how humans created gods on the basis of whatever society they were in. But what Francina Simone is saying, and Francina, if you're watching this video and I'm getting it wrong, please feel free to jump in and correct me. But what I'm gathering from what she's saying, what I agree on with what I believe she is saying, is that what if these gods exist and they use these people as vessels to manifest them? Why is that not an option? Why was the conclusion that no nonsense spirituality came to a conclusion where humans are the creators and not the gods that they created, the creators of the humans? Now let's connect this to white supremacy. One aspect of white supremacy is white people colonizing the entire planet and telling everyone of their superiority. Forcing, as you said, Orlando, forcing their religion on everyone. A religion where God is white. Completely disregarding everybody else's gods and coming to the conclusion that their dictator, authoritarian, top of the hierarchy God is the only God. The logic of that was might makes right. If their God wasn't real, then they would not have been able to conquer everyone. In the meantime, some of the groups that they conquered worshiped nature. They worshiped nature by taking care of nature. They worshiped nature and animals and the ecosystem by seeing it as a god. Taking their worship seriously, seeing themselves as vessels and their gods as legitimate. And now, all of these years later, as the planet is falling apart at the hands of white supremacy, a culture that celebrates the logic of worshiping tools, worshiping capitalism as opposed to the people that capitalism is supposed to be serving, because capitalism is a tool, worshiping symbols as opposed to what the symbols actually stand for, because we worship tools, not substance. A society that elevates tools to status symbols, our planet is falling apart. Maybe the God that some people were worshiping was legitimate. Maybe it was. And maybe the people were vessels to worship that God, who would in turn bless the people for worshiping it, for taking care of it. Maybe the connection that some people had with their gods was real. But according to white supremacist logic, the kind of logic that does not understand symbiotic relationships, only hierarchical relationships, and sees everything through the lens of hierarchy, a God is not enacting abuse or violence or hierarchy or exploitation, it is hard for whiteness to recognize if it exists at all. What do you mean that you and your God are a constant act of co-creation? That's not how God works. So again, this is not to say that atheism is inherently white supremacist, but this is to kind of point to no nonsense spirituality's logic to getting to atheism after having went to theology school. It goes to show that to a large degree, theology school probably has some work to do in getting rid of its white supremacist roots. We are very much experiencing the effects of a world that is being run by people who do not respect the divinity of the natural world. A planet that we can very much say created us, but we also are creating it. It is a co-creation, a symbiotic relationship. And our inability to honor it, but instead choose to exploit it, it doesn't make us gods. Not exactly. It could mean that we're just vessels of destruction. So it's just, this is kind of just a way of flipping the logic and just kind of being like, if it works one way, it could work the other way. But the fact that for this person, it couldn't even work the other way is kind of just weird. It's weird. It's like, wow, like that's a conclusion you came to. So that's it. You know, I mean, I'll end this with Colors of the Wind. And you sing with all the voices of the mountains. Can you paint with all the colors of the wind? You can own the earth and still all you own is earth until you can paint with all the colors of the wind. You know, Disney really ate down with that song. I'm just saying.